January 2024, another report into the grooming gang scandal, this time in Rochdale. Never stops, does it? It never stops. What does this report tell us? It tells us exactly what every other report tells us. Incompetence, fear, cowardice. People abusing our children, and the council and the police too afraid to do anything about it. Or maybe even don't care it was happening. Those little tarts deserved what happened to them. This has to stop. There's two ways this stops. Two ways we tackle this. We tackle the perpetrators of paedophilia, of the grooming gang scandal. We hammer them. And the ones who are not British nationals, we deport them. We've got 3 convicted paedophiles living in Rochdale still who went to jail over this, and we cannot deport them. They had deportation orders, but the government failed to get rid of them. They weren't born in this country. How weak are we when we have to house and accommodate foreign pedos? We have enough British-born pedos in this country. We don't need to import any more. But how we really tackle this issue is we need to fix the police and the council. And how do we do that? We start holding people accountable. Such as, if I'm mayor this year, I'm going to be reviewing every review that's ever been done into this in Greater Manchester. I'm not going to commission another review. It's a waste of millions and years of time. Who cares about another review? They all say the same thing anyway. I want to look at the reviews that have been done, and I want to pick out the senior police officers who failed in their duty, the senior police officers who did not act, and we're going to sack them. If we can prove they were negligent on their duty and didn't do their duty, or couldn't be bothered or incompetent, let's sack them. Some will take us to court. Absolutely fine, take us to court. We'll have this out in court. But we have to start showing the people of this nation, of this region, that we're not having this anymore. We need to give top civil servants, including senior police officers, but also top council managers, the head of children's services, the head of the council, we need to put their skin in this game as well. Now, as mayor, I can sack senior police officers because I can create the policies that do it. I can't sack council staff. But what I can do is I can name and shame. Some people die in Gaza, in the Ukraine. We have marches on the streets. Where were the marches on the streets for the tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of girls that have been raped in this country over decades? Where were the marches? Where were the people waving the flags and waving the banners? There isn't any. Because the people who care about this, who are fighting about this, you can count on a couple of hands. That's a disgrace. That's how I know the people who march on the streets for many causes are not even legitimate, who really don't care. It's all virtue signalling. Because if they cared to be marching about this, they'd be marching about the gang rape of hundreds of thousands of British girls. Where are the feminists in this? I'll tell you where they are. Silent. We're turning into a nation of cowards. Now, as mayor, I can't fix all our problems overnight, and I can't fix all our problems anyway. But I can fix the police, and I can start turning the region into an anti-paedophile region, where paedophiles don't want to live anymore now because they're named and shamed. I want those 3 men in Rochdale deported. And if we can't get them deported out the country, I want them to leave Greater Manchester. Because I'm going to use public shame to shame those men and those families. That's what I'm going to do. We can't have this anymore. And we can't have any more reports. And we can't have any more mayors on TV going, there's lessons to be learnt here. And I'd like to apologise for our failings. How many times over how many decades are we going to hear this? I've had enough. I've done my bit. I've saved over 15 children being raped. I've saved more being assaulted. I've done my bit. Have you done your bit? And the answer will be no. Well, you can do your bit at the elections. Stop voting in the same people with the same excuses who are allowing your children to be gang raped. Stop voting them in. And maybe then we could have some better politicians who will put your children first ahead of their career. That's what we need to do. So let's stop blaming everybody else and let's take some personal responsibility for our failing politicians, because we put them there. And lots of people in Greater Manchester don't even vote. They're also the problem. Apathy is the problem. There's no point voting, it's all fixed, blah, 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 blah. Well, do you know what? What else are you doing to stop children being raped? The answer is nothing. So do something. Well, a bit of a rant there, didn't I? But this is really serious. And this has been going on for 20, 30, 40 years. I've known about this for decades. Time it stops. And it stops when we start holding senior civil servants responsible and we start sacking some of them. That's how we get them to do better in the future. You think about it. Seriously think about this. Can't go on. I'll see you next time.